With the second half of the first game press conference for the Summit League Men's Basketball Championships. Again, if you haven't done so already, please shut off your cell phones. And media, please give me your media organization and your name, and then we'll proceed. Coach, the process is we'll start with an opening statement, followed by questions for players only, and then we'll proceed back to questions for Coach Todd Howard. Coach?
Going into it, you know you're coming to a building, whatever, 7, 8, 9,000 people will be in blue, and we've played well against them in minor stretches, kind of 5 minutes here, second half at our place, and the game just got too long. So we thought we just needed to shrink the game, and really our formula was about just pieces of the pie of poise, rebounding, defending, and being confident. And I thought for most of the game we were pretty prevalent and successful in 3 phases of those, and ball didn't bounce our way on a few times, and that's kind of been the story of our year. But extremely proud just because I thought they overcame a lot. I think Mitch played a whale of a game and really had us in the game, and when he gets a second kind of phantom foul, a fourth foul that's just hard to call in March, that changes the complexion, and it determined the outcome of the game. But we really, I thought, stuck to some things. Very proud of the shorthandedness that we've been in, and just commending the guys on what they brought tonight, because we knew that we were playing against a very, very good team, and you need them to be subpar a little bit. They weren't, and I thought we were on all cylinders for some stretches there, and gave us a chance.
Okay, guys, let's go ahead and questions for Mitchell Patton, please.
It's Terry Vanderhook, the Argus-Cedar paper here in Sioux Falls. Just you played them twice. The one game, your numbers were not great. The other game, you played really, really well. Tonight was obviously the latter. What was that matchup like for you, or what kind of got you going? Just talk about your performance tonight.
The second game we played them, they double teamed me, and figured coming into that they were going to do it again tonight. So I had to try to make my moves quick and get to the middle every time I could. It's real physical down there. The rest were letting us play, and so I just made sure I took my time, kept my composure, and tried to put the ball in the basket.
What obviously was disappointing for you with the fourth foul. What were you kind of thinking, just going to the bench at that point?
That was tough. I thought I was there personally for it, but obviously the rest thought differently. It's tough when you look up, and I think it was about a 5-point game at that point, and you're right there. But I have confidence in all my teammates coming in for me that they can do just as well as me. So it was tough coming out, but I still have confidence in our team that we could play well and pull it off.
Anybody else? Question for Mitchell? Seeing none. Thanks, Mitchell. Boy, good game.
Thanks.
Okay, now let's proceed to questions for Coach Howard, please.
Coach Marcus Trax with Legion. You talked about the pace of play switch. How would you assess how that went from your standpoint? Did you feel like it worked?
Yeah, I think the 2 times we played, I think we got off to a good start at our place, a good start at their place. We'd have empty trips that'd get us in a 6 to 8 point hole, and they hadn't even really started playing well. And then they would start playing well, and now that lead doubles. And it never really got there the first 30 minutes or so. And I think we had a lot to do with that, just by having good possessions, quality possessions. You're not going to make every shot, but we just had too many in the 80 minutes we played. They just scored too many points, almost on pick sixes. And they got a couple of those tonight, fatigue turnovers, and that's going to happen with our situation. But definitely, I think, going down, you're closing the half without Mitch. The game's really there for the taking in the second half, and it's really going to, I think, be a whale of a game, and you're without Mitch. So despite that, yeah, I thought gave us a chance.
Inspired at all to do that by the success Western's had or NDSU's had, or it seems like Summit has this high scoring reputation, but a couple
Yeah.
teams have done that kind of well.
Yeah, and I think, you know, honestly, it's something, you know, when you've kind of gone through what we've gone through, you've looked at every batting order under the sun, you know, and bottom line for us, we wanted to, regardless who we're playing, play hard, develop players. I think you've seen that development in Gibbs and Patton, and, you know, playing kind of our brand of basketball gave us a chance in probably, you know, half these last games down the stretch. A lot of them came down to a minute and it's one possession, or we had a lead, and just being shorthanded makes that tough. So certainly going into this environment with who you're playing, you know, you got to say, you know, what's that line? What's the definition of insanity? You know, so you got to change something, and we practiced very well with that all week, and the guys bought in, and you know. I think the evidence was there that it gave us quality shots, and most importantly made them guard for, it's probably why Western's had success. You make them guard, and then you can set your defense, and that's you know, something I thought we were good at. Eliminated the kind of the pick six turnovers, just a couple bounces early where they got some putbacks, and at the same time while we're missing layups rimming out, and so that was kind of a swing that really I thought we played a lot better than what the score indicated. Our first shot defense for most of the game was pretty solid, but rebounding's been the Achilles heel.
Coach, you just reflect on the season a little bit. You guys are a little like the Oakland women that played earlier today. You know, you're this proud program that has made run after run in this tournament.
Yeah.
You know, the NCAA thing, and the injury stuff, and
Yeah.
it's just everything seems to have gone the wrong way for you.
Yeah, and that's, you know, what we let off with the guys, because you know, you're probably judged, I think, or you know, internally, I think, how do you respond? And every day, I mean, every day we practice, it's been great. You know, our practice the other day was phenomenal, and it was our 97th practice, and probably 2 have been poor all year because they're pros. So despite the circumstances, I think they were judged with how they approached things and how they dealt with things that were certainly tough. You know, we've probably had one medical redshirt in my 18 years, that's George Hill. We're probably looking at 4, and even had our transfer student athlete miss the whole year, which, you know, he can end up getting a 6th year hopefully from it. So, and then John Hart's situation, and so you kind of look at and then honestly Mitch's situation. You know, Mitch, maybe people don't know, but we like to break our season up, and just as we were reviewing this week and thinking of what have we done, what are we doing, what's going forward, and this season was broke up in 9 segments, and Mitch missed really 19 games in terms of, there's a 19-game stretch where he did not practice. 5 games he didn't play, 4 he played limited minutes. So 9 of those 19, kind of as you're starting to climb and figure out who John Hart is and who some of these, Sean Esposito's never really played extended minutes, and Greg Rice certainly hadn't. You're finding all that out, and Mitch wasn't quite healthy. And then about a month or so ago, he got healthy, you know, just through that rest. I mean, if he hadn't have rested, he wouldn't be where he is now. He's a heck of a player. And so you have all those injuries, you know, really I would say of the 9 segments, only our first segment was even normal, and that wasn't because Ian Childs wasn't with us, and he's an all-league, you know, recipient. So, but like I let off earlier, I just love the development of what Gibbs and Patton have done, and they're on the way to have great careers.
Any more questions? Okay, Coach.
All right.